It's a bold new city. It's our moment. It's our time.
Mayor Yarber's vision for the city is one that we can all be proud of. The way we share that bold vision is through the way we perform our duties every day. Each department is held accountable by the way they carry out their programs and initiatives that center around the mayor's vision for the city.
Public Works is the fabric that holds the city together. Everything we do is for the quality of life of our citizens and for the betterment of our businesses, homes, schools, and hospitals. We are Jackson, and Public Works is committed to ensuring that our infrastructure is viable, sustainable, clean, bold, and green.
The Jackson Police Department connects with everyone and everything. We are the face of the city. Doing what's right and what matters is woven throughout our department. We will provide good customer service, be attentive, and protect and serve. I support the vision that has been introduced and know that it is for the betterment of our city.
Cities are a collection of connected neighborhoods. The Planning and Development Department is committed to the goal of improving the quality of life for the residents of Jackson. We deal with issues involving zoning, code enforcement, affordable housing, and transit, all of which affect the lives of our citizens.
Jackson is full of history, character, and soul. Our programs and services enrich the lives of not only its citizens, but those who come here to visit. From our daycare centers to Smith Robinson Museum to Thayer Hall, the Department of Human and Cultural Services is vibrant and will continue to shine for all the good things that are happening in the bold new city. We are truly a department that believes in people first.
We are Jackson, Mississippi. It's a bold new city. It's our moment. It's our time.
Listen, I want to take the time to welcome each and every one of you here tonight on behalf of the more than 175,000 citizens of our great city. I want to thank you, and I want to thank you for your attendance tonight. Listen, there are so many different people here tonight. We've got our local elected officials who are here. Councilman Stamps is here, who represents the city council, who's the president. Stand up so they can see you, Mr. President. Celebrate him with me. Mr. Tillman, the dean of the council, is in the house. Y'all celebrate Mr. Tillman. Several of our legislators are here. If you would stand so we could recognize you, if you're here, any of our legislators who are here. Thank you so much. I want to take just a few seconds to recognize the work that they do every day up there at the state capitol. Please know that the work that they're doing, it is in no part small, and that they are engaged in a yeoman's battle, and sometimes I just walk away shaking my head at the job that you guys do. God bless y'all. I don't think, some folks say they don't want my job, but I don't want yours, all right? So thank you again, and on behalf of all of you who are here, who are being represented by these folks up at the State House, thank you so much, and we appreciate you. If you work for the city, thank you for being here. I know we've got seniors in the house who represent different areas in the city. You may be at our different senior centers. If you're here and you cannot stand, wave your hand. Otherwise, if you could stand, I see y'all. Okay, it's looking good. What we want to do tonight is we want to challenge everyone that we encounter. We want to challenge you to begin speaking positively about our bold new city. Ran into somebody the other day and they asked me, they said, well, what's so important about this speaking newness or speaking life? It's very important that you understand that anyone who is not principled, those folks who are not principled, should not be in front of you leading. Our principle is that we speak what we do not see, while we believe that what we speak we'll see one day. That sets the framework and the course for where we're going in our city. So while we may not see streets that are paved like they should, we speak and we declare that the potholes are being fixed right now. Y'all should clap for that. We made a conscious decision that no longer would we fail at telling our story, that we wouldn't allow other people to tell the story of Jackson for us, that we would not allow what we see on the news every night to be the only thing that people take away when they consider our great city. The fact that you're in here tonight, it speaks to the fact that our city is more than just shootings and robberies. It speaks to the fact that our city is more than about potholes and sewage overflows. But our city is a collection of great people who have the ability to absolutely change the story that is told about our fair city. Tonight, you are here. We are here as we come together to begin to declare the very next chapter in the city of Jackson. I think, Mr. Tillman, that the people who are gathered here tonight have come to say that they're going to be a part of history. And that as they are part of history, as they are part of what we're doing, we chose the only place in the city that we felt like would be able to speak to our city's history as well as speak to our city's future. And it is none other than the Alamo Theater right here in historic Fair Street. Tonight, we want to lay a vision we want to cast vision, rather, that lays a solid foundation for our city to grow. And as we do that, we want to take the time to welcome you to the unveiling of our bold new vision. As we go quickly to what our vision is and what we believe, our vision together is very simple. We want to we want to start to transform the city of Jackson into a destination city. That's a leader in innovation, education, infrastructure, stability, while we are cultivating an environment that is conducive for entrepreneurial endeavors. That's right. We believe that in the city of Jackson that we should lead and model. We just returned from Washington, D.C. a few months ago, where under the direction of our public works team, we were able to put together a framework for our infrastructure master plan. While in D.C., we made that presentation before the Environmental Protection Agency, as well as the U.S. Conference of Mayors Water Council. We made our presentation at 9:15. At 1 o'clock, when the EPA stood to make their presentation, they walked in the room with the City of Jackson's infrastructure master plan in their hand, saying that this is the model that they want to see cities use all across the country. Ladies and gentlemen, our vision is bold. It is big, and we say that we will lead and we will model. We will lead and model not only in infrastructure improvement, but we will lead and model in innovation. We will be sure that we are in an educated city and that whenever people consider putting their children in a Jackson public school, that they know that they're putting their child in a place that is safe and a place that will produce a quality individual. We're in a prime position to push our city to new heights. We are the crossroads of the South. And we are the crossroads of the South because Interstate 55 and Interstate 20 make us that. We are inevitably a capital city that has brought all of the southern region together. And we are the largest city in the state of Mississippi. We're your capital city. Ladies and gentlemen, we are amazingly situated right on the Pearl River that gives us an opportunity to see development and to see our city become a city that is talked about whenever people consider where they will go for vacation, where they will go to work, where they will go to live, and where they will go to play. We are a city full of history, culture, soul, and excellence. And our collective genius that we bring together, our collaborative impact, will push this city forward. Our mission as servants to the citizens of Jackson is that we will be intentional at striving towards the manifestation of the city's vision. We don't, contrary to popular belief, and we know that Beyonce said that she woke up like this, our city will not overnight become a destination city. We must be intentional. We must be intentional in our efforts, and at every level, in every department, in all tasks, we are committed to our citizens, innovative in our thoughts, and we are seamlessly connected in our processes, champions of our vibrant city, and diligent in our efforts to assure the progression of our people and a prosperous city with leaders that exemplify the level of excellence that Jackson deserves. What our mission does, our mission statement helps to give clarity to our vision. What our mission does is helps us to identify the thematic principles that will help us shape Jackson with sincere direction. Ladies and gentlemen, our mission shows us where we all fit. We looked at our mission and determined that there are some themes that go along with our vision. We have identified these themes, and we come to let you know that we believe that you will find yourself in one of the themes that we've identified tonight. We come to knight you, if you will. We come to knight you to say that you are a carrier of this vision. Whether or not you live on the north side or the south side, we're saying that when you leave here tonight, we want you to leave with the understanding that the vision that we cast tonight is not just my vision, it's not just your vision, but it is our collective vision. You carry this vision through the thematic principles that it embodies. Ladies and gentlemen, we are Jackson. I don't care where you travel around this country. If you live in Itta Bena, Mississippi, or if you live in Madison, when people ask you where you are from, you will say you are from Jackson. Quite frankly, it's the only place they can find on the map big enough. I didn't mean anything by that, Representative Anderson. But when, or you say you're from the Mississippi Gulf Coast, right? But when you say that you are from Mississippi, there has to be an identifying marker. That identifying marker is Jackson, Mississippi. As we identify ourselves, we have made the bold proclamation that we are Jackson, and we are not ashamed of it. When I go out to places and people are from other places and they ask me where I'm from, I don't whisper that I'm from Jackson. I boldly declare that I am Tony Yarber from Jackson, Mississippi. So, for those of you who know my background, you know that at some point I'm going to ask you to do some vocal recall with me. So if you would, let's go on and practice. I want you to help me say, we are Jackson. Say it with me. We are Jackson. I think about 5 of y'all must be from Clinton. I don't know what just happened. I didn't hear you well. Remember, I just told you that even if you're from our neighboring communities, even if you are not in Hinds County or you are not from in Jackson, if Mississippi is your state, Jackson is your capital. Jackson is your capital. I don't care how you cut it, slice it, or dice it. Jackson is your capital. So let's do this again. We're going to say, we are Jackson. Here we go. Say it. We are Jackson. Now that sounded like music to my ears. Give yourselves a hand. The city's vision is based on 5 themes. And these 5 themes ultimately embody who we are and who we are to become in the future. And as we continue to progress as a city, we'll purposely make sure that the programs, our services, that they all of the initiatives, that they line up with these thematic principles. We want to begin to say what it is that we want to do. Councilman Stamp's office said that for so long, contractors and other folks have come into the city and told us what we should do once we've identified our problem. But that's no longer going to be our story. We're going to tell you that's right. We're going to tell you what our problem is, and we're going to tell you how we want you to help us fix it. And anything that does not tightly align with our vision and these 5 themes will not make the cut. And we say that boldly. See, part of telling our story involves us realizing and accepting our identity. So who is Jackson? In a nutshell, Jackson is vibrant, connected. We're prosperous. We're innovative. And we're committed, ladies and gentlemen. We are a city that's on the rise. And we are the place, and I love to say this, that everyone will soon want to come and no one will want to leave. You know, our city will shine as a city with flavor. We're a unique mix of arts, we've got culture, we've got the entertainment, And this entertainment hosts hundreds of events every year. And from our season of festivals to antique shows, from symphony concerts to sports classics, Jackson, quite frankly, is the place to be. Just ask police chief, who's nervous every time there's a major event. And he calls me at the end of the event and he says, "Boss, we made it." Which ultimately means that nothing happened and he can go to sleep. Ladies and gentlemen, we are vibrant. From international cuisine to southern favorites, the soul of blues, gospel, and jazz can not only be felt downtown, but around town. Look, we are a world of new adventure, and yes, I say, in the friendliest place on earth. You know, our city, we must continue to celebrate its impressive assets and our cultural image. Our arts and culture will be woven throughout the city, and these things will be emanated around the world. We've got the renowned Thalia Mare Hall right here in the middle of our city. We've got art institutions, museums, galleries, festivals, and a host of other events. We'll be a destination of choice, ladies and gentlemen. A destination of choice that attracts distinctive lifestyles and tourists. We've got the strength in our assets of events like Zippity Doo-Dah, Thundering After 5. We've got the Mississippi Blues Marathon that, by the way, was voted a top 10 marathon in the country, and it happens in your city. And Mama, don't let me start talking about your old school, Smith Robertson, which is now a museum. And this museum is led by Pam Jr. and her amazing team, and it was done in such a fabulous way that CNN had to come down and celebrate. We do better than that. Earlier I talked to you about how the chief is always nervous, one of those
that comes to your city and was voted as a top, listen to this, a top event in the southern region in your city. Say it. We are glad. Not only do we do this, but visitors who are in our city from over 39 different countries. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to take a few minutes. I want to identify some of the vibrant people who fit the theme that we just talked about. I know that you're here. If you fit in that mode and you say that I'm one of those vibrant people that you just talked about, Tony, lift your hand so we can celebrate you really quick. I know there's some vibrant, there you are, there's some vibrant people in here. Let's celebrate those vibrant people. We understand, it's okay, maybe you aren't vibrant, it's all right. Before I'm done, Adrian, I'm going to get to you. All right? I'm going to take you to raise your hand. I'm bother you, I'm messing with you. All people doing this era, I'm bother y'all. I mean, I'm guiding you to the vibrant, but we're coming. The beauty of being a part of this We Are Jackson fabric is that you don't have to do everything. You just have to be something. And believe in that which you are, and know that you have a contribution to make to this process. Listen, we understand that that diverse neighborhoods, mixed-use facilities, and diverse population provide something for everyone to enjoy. Our connected city that we live in, and our collective impact will continue to improve our quality of life. That's going to happen because, ladies and gentlemen, we are connected. As a neighborhood of neighborhoods, we are connected to each other through common goals and ideas about quality of life. We move seamlessly through our city with expanding modes of transportation, bike trails, and continuous improvements to our city's infrastructure. Great cities, listen to this, they have great streets. And great streets are complete streets. that prioritize the safety and experience of its people. And we got to do that first. I like this because it says that as a neighborhood of neighborhoods, it speaks to the fact that while all of our neighborhoods are important to us, that Jackson would not be Jackson without those neighborhoods you live in. We speak to being connected because we know that while Mr. Gleese and the constituency group that he represents, if they don't have the appropriate access to buildings and sidewalks and to the things that allow them to enjoy and experience an appropriate quality of life, we have failed as a city if we don't give them the opportunity for their we will ensure that we are seamless as we talk about our expanding modes of transportation. J-Tran has not done the job that we know that it can do in serving our citizens. So we are committed to ensuring that we see an expanded mode of transportation that gives us the ability to move forward. Our bike trails, continuous improvement in our city's infrastructure. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got an opportunity to do some amazing things.
We recently submitted, before this year ended, to the Secretary of Transportation, we submitted a list of pipeline-ready projects. And we submitted these pipeline-ready projects, and on Thursday, I'll be in Birmingham, Alabama, sitting with the Secretary of Transportation to follow up on these initiatives that we have submitted to ensure that we are able to bring home the bacon and to be sure that we have what we need to move our city forward in things like intermodal transportation, to be sure that we're able to move our city forward in the things that we need, like ensuring that we have surface innovation. We recently submitted a letter to Senator Wicker and Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey, and our support of a new bill that will allow our city to get funding that comes directly to your city. Now, we love the work that the state is doing, and we appreciate being involved in the loop, but sometimes I need my money a little faster. And I need to have control of that money. And we need to have control of that money in order to do the things that we need to do. So this Surface Transportation Act that we look to see some things happen, we are confident that if we take matters into our own hands, that we'll have the ability to see our city move forward. Our public transportation in the city, ladies and gentlemen, I told you that we are looking to move forward. And as we talk about intermodal transportation, we're talking about a bus system that does not take all day to take us from point A to point C. That does not, and for those of you who don't ride the buses, you don't know that, but if you do, you should celebrate that fact. The development of more inclusive transportation. It gives us the ability in our great city to see citizens have a better opportunity to compete for better jobs, to see that their quality of life is improved, and to simply do things like get to the grocery store and back with the appropriate amount of things that their families need. Infrastructure planning is going on. Long-term planning with our infrastructure master plan that allows us to more effectively connect our city. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that there are many of you in here who are connectors, people who bring things together, bring people together, bring ideas together. If you're connected in the room, let me see your hand so we can celebrate our connectors. Let's celebrate all our connectors if you're here. Don't just be a connector, but make these connections. Ladies and gentlemen, by working to ensure that all Jacksonians make a living wage, we will, that's right, clap for that. We'll actively push the limits of economic development in our urban core. We'll provide our citizens the best of both worlds. We'll provide an unrivaled atmosphere for business and an impeccable quality of life. That's why we say that we are prosperous. See, as we establish Mississippi's largest city as prime ground for investment and development, listen to this. Your city is the only city that provides the best of every world. So there should never be a time where a development or a business should come into your state and not consider your city first. We're increasing the income and purchasing power of the working class while protecting small businesses, retaining jobs, and fostering economic development throughout our region. If I don't say anything, I think it is very important that we point out the fact that we say that we want to increase the income and purchasing power of working people. We're not simply concerned with the middle class or the upper echelon, but we want to talk to those folk and ensure that people who in the past have not had an opportunity to have quality health care, to people who have 3 and 4 children, and that young lady who has decided that she wants to go back to school and work to provide for her family, but to be able to ensure that she can do that knowing that her city has provided an environment that invites folks in to give the kind of job and career opportunities that allow her to have an amazing quality of life. Our city will work to retain our businesses and to attract entrepreneurs. We want to engage industries, and we want to engage not just industry, but emerging industries, global companies, and we will find ways to develop the talent, the skills, and connections needed to build a cutting-edge workforce. Ladies and gentlemen, not long ago we met with your governor, and your governor told us that he was committed to Jackson, and so what we asked him to do was to make a specific commitment. We said, right in downtown Jackson, there's a place called the Mississippi Development Authority. At the MDA, it is a place that, to a large degree, serves as a hub for the distribution of things like workforce development, things that provide for the scouting of new businesses and where they will go. And we said, Mr. Governor, we need you to commit to us somebody in that building who will wake up every morning and the only thing that they're thinking about is how do we make Jackson prosperous. He agreed. He agreed, and we're now on our way to seeing a workforce developed that we believe will be unrivaled in all of the state. Well, how did we do that, Tony? First thing we did was we started to do, Senator Frazier, what we called a job inventory. We looked at all the jobs that were forthcoming, futuristically, and right now. We looked at the fact that we'll be doing $1 billion worth of infrastructure work. We considered all of the things as it relates to what we call our economic engines. And we started to ask the question, what are the skills that our people need to be able to ensure that when these jobs come, that the jobs don't bring the people with them to do the work, but that when the jobs come, they have to hire our people who are skilled and can do the work. We've got a medical corridor that runs in the heart of your city. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll be John Brown before I allow the medical corridor to be developed without the city of Jackson's input. As a matter of fact, without the city of Jackson leading in this effort. And considering my name is Tony and I ain't Brown, that's not going to work. Listen, we'll push development of this corridor, and we'll do it with the expertise. I'll be meeting in a few weeks with a couple of folks who have presented plans for this medical corridor and who are interested in helping us move the needle in this regard. Reverse engineering is something that is often not talked about, but we will engineer a top-tier workforce through institutional partnerships and programming. We want to support our education system, and we're going to be able to do this through looking at plausible industries that could benefit from our talent pool. Ladies and gentlemen, I just believe that there are some prosperous people who are in here, some folks who are here to help us not only maintain our prosperity, but to gather more of this prosperity, and after having done that, share that prosperity. If you're that person and you're in this room, we just want to identify you and celebrate you. Wave your hand. Now, if you ain't prosperous, I said ain't. If you ain't prosperous, you ought to want to be. So we're going to try this again, because I just believe that you ought to be able to prophetically say what you see. And after you see what you say, sooner or later, it ought to connect with what you believed before you walked in the room. Here's what I want to challenge you to do. I want to challenge you to believe that prosperity is attainable in the city of Jackson, and I want to see those hands of the people who believe that you've got the ability to see that happen in this place. Now let's celebrate all of the prosperous people. I'm almost done, but I want to let you know that we're not simply going to do this any kind of way. We will use data to drive the most efficient use of resources. We want to make the best investments and deliver the best outcomes to our residents. Everybody on my team knows that the fastest way to get you fired is to say to me, this is the way we've always done it. All right, let me lift up my glasses so I can say it again. The fastest way to get fired, and we'll go before civil service or anybody else, is to say to me, but this is the way we've always done it. And what I'll say to you is, what has that gotten our city? So ladies and gentlemen, we are innovative. We are a green city of the future that seeks to have the cleanest and most energy efficiency. We want to have the best transportation and the best infrastructure. We use successful working models to be a healthier, more affordable, and pleasant place to live. We are a place where everyone wants to come, but no one wants to leave. Ladies and gentlemen, it makes no sense that someone who works for your government does not make enough money to be able to cover their own family with insurance. It's ludicrous that you jump in a hole when a water line breaks. You jump in the hole when a water line breaks, and you could be killed in that hole, and your family not be taken care of if we are not doing our jobs. Soon I'll be putting in front of the city council for the very first time an opportunity for us to provide health care for our own employees and their families at a discounted rate, where these employees can take their children into a doctor and not have to pay $40 and $50 and $60 co-pays and not have to pay $200 premiums a month, but they'll be able to go inside and see quality health care. We're talking about being innovative. And I know there'll be people who are going to say, Yarber and this council, they doing too much. Let me say it again. They're going to say it, Mr. President. And as a matter of fact, if they're not saying it, we don't need to be here. Because if we're not doing too much, then that means that we are not doing enough, and we don't value the opportunity that we have given you to lead us. Or that you have given us to lead you. As we make wise, calculated decisions about the future of our city, we will more effectively manage our assets. We've got to get a hold on what we've been doing with what has been given. We are right now attempting to do a better job with those legislators that I just asked to stand so that you can recognize them. We've done a bad job of protecting them. We haven't given them the amount of coverage as a city that they need. They want to speak well of us. They want to walk in the halls of the Capitol and speak good things about us. But we hadn't done the things that we needed to do that gives them the ability to do it. They want to ask for more money, but we hadn't been able to show them what we've been doing with the money. So what we've decided to do is be innovative. We put together a new external funding team that meets every month to account for every dime that comes in externally. Every division has to give an account for the money that is being brought in through grants and other funding. They have to give an account for the money that has gone out, and they have to make sure that they are talking about compliance dates and timeliness. Ladies and gentlemen, we will not do things the way that we have done them in the past. Our investment in long-term initiatives, such as our infrastructure improvement, will continue to pay dividends by enhancing the quality of life now and for future generations. Technological advances continue momentum to make we will continue our momentum as we start to make technological advances. And listen, these advances only allow us to communicate with you more effectively. We recently launched Tip 411. We heard a lot of feedback from community members who said, listen, we want to tell on the guys that are next door to us who we know are selling dope. We want to call you and tell you, but we don't want the police officer to drive up to our house. You can clap, it's okay. True story, Chief, true story. I'm the mayor, man. Right down the street from my house, a neighbor calls me and says, Tony, across the street, some stuff going on. I said, did you call the police? She said, yes, but I think that the police is going to come to my house. I don't want them to come to my house because they never asked for the other address. And I said, well, give me a minute. Let me try to head it off. As I'm pulling down the street, guess what happens? The officer pulled up to the lady's house and tells the folks across the street that she had been called out by a neighbor. Now, we can't knock the officer because the officer was new and the officer was trying to feel her way through. But what we can do is give you more coverage by saying, don't worry about having to give your name, your number, or your address. You remember 355 tips. It's just a more innovative way where you're able to download an app to your phone and text in what's going on. They never know who you are. They never can ask who you are. And you're able to communicate live with the person who you are giving information to. So before you leave, Doc, I want you to make sure that you download that app on your Android or on your iPhone. And if your neighbor is selling weed, tell him. I mean the neighbor in the room. Code Red is our emergency management piece. There should not be a time where you find out that there is a boil water alert because the news tells you. That's right. That should come to your phone, or that should be a ring of your house phone that lets you know there is a boil water alert for your community. Or there is a tornado warning. You should receive a call and or a text. Go immediately, sign up for Code Red, and tell your friends to sign up for it as well. We've got our social media campaign that's going crazy. I heard one guy say on social media the other day, he said, the mayor doing too much. I get sick of seeing all these updates. Well, what you won't say is that you didn't know. We want you, if you're on social media, to follow us on all of them. We are Jackson. Whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, we want you to engage us, and we also want you to get engaged with our new and improved website. Our website has become so much more user-friendly now. Contractors are able to go and see RFPs that are being out, bids that are out, and we're getting even more input from some of our more technologically savvy council members like Mr. Tillman. Councilman Sampson and I were on the council together. He would always say, we've got to do a better job, y'all, of telling our story. We've got to make sure that we get in front of the news. That if they're going to say something bad, we need to have 3 press releases that balance what the bad news was that our people just heard. Well, Councilman, we heard that message, and because of that, we have developed a robust team in terms of our media and marketing, and they are on it every day. And we're finding ways to communicate our message and our story. We just done our very first magazine, the We Are Jackson magazine, that tells our city's story. We want to increase public transparency. We want to give you the ability to do what's called participatory budgeting, to the degree that we give you the opportunity to see what we're doing live. Trivia Jones is here. Would you wave so they can see you? She is the Director of Finance and Administration. As much as I am her boss, you should be as well. You should be able to look at any time and see how we are spending your money. I said again, not your mama. Your money. So we've now started to investigate a piece called OpenGov that gives you the opportunity to look directly at what we're doing and see how our city is using your funds, and you're able to pull your own charts and graphs. You're able to hold us accountable as we move forward in doing the things that we know that you are asking us to do. We will rise to the challenges, ladies and gentlemen, that plague our bold new city. We're committed. Our capital improvement plan and our infrastructure improvement plan, the comprehensive plan, will ensure that our city is a national leader, not only now, but in years to come. We are a safe, resilient city that is protected and guarded by top-tier public safety officials. We are a proactive, educated city that is supported with public schools and institutions of higher learning that help develop our workforce. We are an engaged city that takes pride in the progression of its people. Representative Wooten, would you stand up real quick? Representative Wooten just presented some legislation that asks for, this ain't the clapping part, you finna get the clapping part, that asks for $5 million for our public safety division. Now clap. It's those kinds of things that ensure that we're able to do what is captured in this vision. And ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say this, that the people who are here, who represent us in those areas, who push those kinds of legislation, when somebody gets ready to run against them, you better be sure that they're going to do what they're doing, or you make sure that they don't get your vote. Now, that wasn't an endorsement, but it was an endorsement of doing the right thing. Does that make sense? Listen, public safety officials, and they're going to be top tier. I think we've got the best police chief and the best fire chief in the state of Mississippi. Woo! We are a proactive, educated city, and we're going to support our public schools. Contrary to popular belief, Jackson Public Schools is not as bad as they want to say that we are. I graduated from the University of Forest Hill High School. Your chief graduated from a school over there off of, what is it? 883. Maple Street. Your other chief went to this school over off of Beasley or something. Somebody on the staff went to a school that starts with an M and they ride horses, a Mustang? Murray. No? Okay, all right. What am I saying? I'm saying that we'll support our public schools, and not only that, we're going to support our institutions of higher learning. We're going to support Hines on Northside Drive, on Mega Evers, rather. We're going to support Tougaloo. We are going to support Jackson State University. We are going to support, ITT Tech. Virginia College. We're going to support these places that see and ensure that the development of the more than 40,000 college students, whether they are traditional or non-traditional, we're going to ensure that we're creating the kind of environment and climate that produces the right kind of people so that at the end of the day, the workforce that we want to see in our city will go forward. Ladies and gentlemen, we are Jackson. Not just Jackson, but we're Jackson, Mississippi. We are committed to being the standard of excellence in this region. You see, excellence should never be the exception. Excellence should always be the norm. So tonight I stand to announce to you a new normal in Jackson, Mississippi. I stand to announce to you a new normal that says that in education, we will no longer be last. That's why we've launched Project Reads in our child care centers, where we will see our children reading when they leave our centers and go into Jackson Public Schools' 5-year-old program, that they will be reading by the 3rd month of kindergarten. Our I Need to Make It initiative will encourage our young people to be holistic individuals where they will value life. And when we say that Black lives matter, not only will we say that Black lives matter, they will know that every life matters, especially their own. We will take care of our business. We're going to take care of your money. We're going to take care of your streets. We're going to take care of your neighborhoods. We're going to take care of your roads. And we're going to ensure that economic development does not just happen in pockets of our city, but we're going to make sure that whether you're not, you're on the Highway 18 corridor, the I-20 corridor, the I-20 corridor, whether or not you are in Georgetown, whether or not you're in Brown Bottom, or whether or not you are in Heatherwood, we want to see that it is happening for you. Well, you know, normally I say sub 2, but they tell me I talk about the sub too much. But since you brought it up, sub number 2.
What about Paris Street?
Carol Shields. Who else? Okay, who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? And for every name you just called out, you are responsible for taking this vision back and letting every person know that we are Jackson and that we need you to make it. And that at the end of the day, the only way that any of this works is when we make the effort and declare that Jackson's bold new vision is not just about me. It isn't the Tony Yarber show. This is about you and your family. It's about me and my family. It's about us as a family. I'm so sick of the naysayers saying more than the yay sayers. It is time for us to stand up and make a bold declaration together that we are Jackson. There are people right now who are coming around. They've got cards. connect to you. As they're passing out those cards, be sure that you write legibly, because I don't want your name to be Carolyn and I call you Carlita. But they're handing those out right now. Y'all see my church etiquette happening with the ushers. They're navigating their way through the aisles. As they're doing that, I want to celebrate not only the elected officials whose names I called, those of you who were able to stand, but if you are an elected official or you work in a capacity that serves an elected official, would you stand so that we can recognize you? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. While you're getting those cards, I want to recognize one of my mentors who is here tonight. I took his class at Jackson State while I was working on my master's degree. And this had to be the funniest man in the world. Out of all the classes I went to, and 50% of them I hated, his was the one that I never missed. The good Dr. Middleton, if you would stand so we can recognize you. What fraternity are you in, sir? That would be Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. As you fill those cards out, I want to challenge you that as you leave out of here, that you drop those in the bucket. The last thing that I ended with was we are committed. And don't think that I let you off the hook because I did not identify you. But I want to see the committed people who are in this room, who are committed to moving Jackson forward, but not just moving Jackson forward, but I need you bombarding the airways with the vision that you have heard tonight and bombarding the airways not just with the complaints. We all know what's wrong with the city. But with reasonable solutions that get us from where we are to the place that we desire to be. If that's you, I want you to stand to your feet with me as we begin to celebrate a Jackson that we all know that we are to become as we celebrate being committed. Grab your belongings because this is it. When you stand, you're not sitting. Take the opportunity. Dr. Johnson, good to see you. FOI, good to see you, brothers. Take an opportunity. Look around at the people who have come here tonight to be with you. Look at them. They are you. You are they. And together,